This episode is sponsored by Powershop.
In this review of the Tesla Model Y Performance, I'm going to challenge those who are thinking about going petrol or hybrid. Think BMW X3 M badge. That costs 30k more than this, and this goes faster and way cheaper to fill, and arguably maybe the better car. But that said, for those thinking of maybe the Zeekr 7X Performance, this is maybe a car you should be jumping into. Find out that and a lot more in this review. Pricing of the Tesla Model Y starts at $89,400, and that's before taxes. So importantly, no luxury car tax threshold here. Thank you very much. You got 21-inch Pirelli sports tires, a little bit wider at the back there, which is lovely. And because it's performance badged, you got the rear here, you got some carbon fiber trim here and there. You've got a puddle light that also calls out that insane acceleration of this car, which is from the movie Spaceballs, if you're a little bit of a nerd like me. Don't judge me. You got 6 different color options. And I think the most important takeaway here is that right now, as I'm filming this car, you can buy full self-driving outright. And you can do the subscription at $149 per month. But if you buy it outright, it will mean it stays with this car, and just this car, forever. So you need not pay $149 infinitum. So yeah, I'll leave that up to you as to whether or not that's a good value proposition. A key thing about its pricing is that it is quite a lot more than the long-range Model Y, which is excellent value indeed. And except for those cosmetic changes there, which are pretty mild and, well, realistically not that expensive, let's face it, it'd be great to see something else that makes this car that much more special. And maybe they should include a charger. That'd be a good start. I'm getting to a conclusion here, but let's talk more about some of the features of this car. Up front in the Model Y, the first difference I want to point out here is the additional under-thigh support on both front seats. So now, if you're a taller person, say, this will come out and give you the extra bolster that you need, in addition to the already 8-way power adjustment that it has, including, well, lumbar on the passenger side, so huge tick for me. The modern spacious interior is looking great as per usual. I like the sort of pseudo sporty finish they've got going up here. Sure, it's plastic, but we'll forgive that, right? And soft touch materials most everywhere you want. 2 wireless charging pads and 8 drink bottle holders, all of which are pretty good damn size. One thing I've never really liked or appreciated with any car maker is to be able to get into the glove compartment, you have to go through the screen there. Bit of a naff, bit annoying. And the actual space inside of here is also a little bit small, but okay, it's all right. In the back part of it, there's a 12-volt socket along with 1 USB-C socket. But down here is crying out for a tray or some sort of liner to put things into because, well, it is very deep. And a lot of aftermarket accessories are available to fill that gap there. I'm surprised that Tesla hasn't yet done that. But that said, mate, it's looking pretty damn good. I do wish though that we could see the new black headliner that's available for this car. So maybe the next version, well, next car that is sold to you will have that. This is cool. In the back of the Model Y, this motorized seat on the outboard, so you can actually be a bit more bolt upright, or if you want to appreciate that beautiful view through the panoramic roof, you can. It's a rear center armrest here, but it is a little bit retracted and back, so it's not that supported, to be honest. And it's got 2 of those drink bottle holders I mentioned earlier. You've got an 8-inch screen that you can adjust your HVAC controls, so on the outboards you've got heated seats, also ISOFIX for that matter. But also you can do games on there, watch YouTube and stuff, but position-wise, not the best because it is down and centered. So I think after a long trip, you'll be doing a bit of a correction. Beneath the screen, there's dual vents and 2 USB-C sockets. Knee room, great. This is my driving position, well, equivalent position, and space for days. Underneath there, my feet are very comfortable, thank you very much. Headroom, more than enough space, and across the shoulders too. Yep, very good. Love it. So all in all, it's actually pretty nice. So see you in the boot. Boot space in the back of the Model Y is much in line with its brothers or sisters. With the seats up, you've got 854 litres. Put the seats down and that increases to 2,158. Up front, you got 117 litres, and underfloor is very good. You can store a lot down here. I don't know where you want to store, but you could definitely store lots of things. And also under this section too. So excellent indeed. There's also a 12-volt socket in here and 2 tie-down hook spots, I think. It'd be lovely to see an included cargo net here and maybe a place to hang some bags from as well. And because this features that really clever radio antenna system, the boot will open, as you're soon to discover in another part of this video. But otherwise, yeah, excellent space indeed. One of the things that Tesla has done and improved and refined with its software is that unique ability to understand whether or not you want to be going forwards or backwards. I have critiqued them in the past, and I think other reviewers have as well, plus many owners. It works for the most part. Successfully 90% of the time. It used to be a lot worse, so I'm grateful that, you know, they've actually done some really good stuff with that. The Model Y is equally at home, doing twisties, but also this boring sort of driving on a freeway or highway. So right now, cruising at 109, almost 110 km per hour. Full self-drivers engaged. Mind you, I haven't set a destination, so I'm kind of interested where it might take us right now. We'll see. And it feels beautiful, like it's centering very nicely. If need be, if I need to do a lane change, I just indicate and the car moves over. Slowly sometimes, faster other times. And if need be, it can move over to the left lane and actually take itself off. And this car, well, there it goes, it's starting to do it now. This car can navigate on city streets and take you basically from your place to work. Not necessarily park itself, but that's coming soon in version 14. And I'll do a full comprehensive comparison of this full self-driving, this actual version, compared to the previous one, because the updates are very slow for Australia, but that said, they are taking on the feedback and they are improving it. So good job to Tesla. Now you can configure the Model Y with different dynamic modes, like how it actually handles. So for instance, you can do your acceleration with chill, nice, calm. Think more Model Y. Standard, it's pretty good, pretty punchy. And the insane mode, which we'll do in a minute, with a 0 to 100 test. That's where the fun's at, but nonetheless, yes, I think this is why people buy this car. And would they keep it in insane mode most always? Probably. Deceleration or regen, better said, they at least now have reduced, which is okay. I wouldn't use it myself. I prefer the standard regen in this car. It will bring it down to complete stop, so it's got one pedal driving, but there's no secondary mode here, no other drive mode that simulates what people might be used to coming from an automatic or manual car. And in 2026, I want to see all car makers offer the ability for cars to have 2 different drive modes, so that people transitioning from those other ones to this will feel right at home. But that said, if you are new to electric vehicles, welcome, good job, love you. Get used to one pedal driving. Basically, remember, your brake, you can use your brake anytime, but also accelerator acts as a brake. So as you take your foot off, the car's going to slow down, comes to a complete stop. You learn to love it. You really will. What else is going on here? Now, this Model Y has got adaptive suspension, so it actually uses electronic method to firm up the suspension as need be. Now, I haven't felt a great deal of difference, to be honest, and I think it's because, well, really, you got to throw it into some twisty corners, some spirited driving. Otherwise, you're just getting unnecessary hard ride and handling for naught. Everyday city driving, I would have it just in standard mode. I wouldn't bother having it in that sportier setup. And again, this car is meant for engaged driving, and maybe for that reason I should get it out of this sort of automatic drive mode. But actually, in a kilometre I'm going to exit, so yeah, we'll do that in a heartbeat. Steering wheel feel is pretty good. It's chunky, but it's nice and soft to touch with that leatherette wrapped steering wheel. It is heated, which is lovely for winter time, and Control-wise, it's pretty sensible. You got your light control over here, your wipers, along with your camera where you can turn that on and off as need be, and also your voice assistant, which is terrible. Just, something that I wish Tesla did have was the ability to have wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto, because it is, after all, 2026. And if you want to use Waze, if you want to use your phone to respond to messages with confidence, you need that. Tesla voice assistant is just bad. And for those of you who are like, well, just wait for Grok, Chris. I don't want Grok. Thank you very much. Anyway, so yeah, that steering wheel, where you turn, is pretty sharp. It's very responsive. I mean, look, geez, that's going to make it very wobbly for the camera outside. Apologies to that camera. It's more than enough for that engaged driving experience. And when you couple this very, very comfortable seat that is now, I believe, 10-way power adjustable, because you've got that little extension under your front of the thighs there. So if you're a tall person, you get that support that you need. It's an excellent seat. And I don't know, reminds me of like one of those gamer chair seats now with that emblem in the seat itself. Yeah, pretty damn good. Now, this road is a little bit not typical of Australian roads, but also if you live in the country, it is. It's bumpy, it's uneven, and I'm not getting knocks, really, or shudders, but you're definitely feeling the road in this car, and I've set it to standard suspension right now. So for everyday living, I think it's a real conscious choice that I think people who want to buy this car are the ones who want performance, and they don't mind, they will forgive the firmer ride that this car offers up. So yeah, ride and handling, it's sporty, it's performance, it goes with the territory. Okay, accelerate and brake feel, because there's just so much power on tap. If I plant it, it's not 50k per hour zone, this is 80 anyway. Whoa, it goes. And in terms of brake feel, yeah, it comes on super fast, and doesn't take a lot of pressure to get it going, which I guess in spirited driving, like track driving, you want that. I myself, that kind of feels a little bit synthetic, a little bit digital, but I think, okay, Chris, this is a performance car. Expectations need to be reset. Anyway, all in all, I found my week with this car to be a lot of fun, and scaring the you-know-what out of people. This is what you want to do with him.
I'm on Powershop's new EV Night electricity plan, and honestly, I think it's one of the most economical ways to charge an EV at home. On this plan, you get 6 hours of super off-peak rates between 12 AM and 6 AM every single night. That means during the 6-hour window, you could charge a Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive from 10 to 80% on a standard 7.4 kilowatt home charger for just $2.10. Yes, just over $2 for a solid EV charge. But that's not all. I also have a referral link in the description below, and if you sign up to a Powershop EV electricity plan using that link, you could also receive a $75 credit towards your electricity bill. Terms and conditions apply. Check out my referral link in the description for full details and switch today.
And yeah, let's talk about charging the Model Y performance. On board, there's a 12 kilowatt charger, so that's going to mean up to about 4.5 to 5.5 hours to go from absolute empty to full. Take it to a rapid charge like this, and that goes up to 250 kilowatts. Now, disappointingly, there is no 800 volt architecture here, so that charge time is going to be up to about 30 minutes in that 10 to 80% band. So I would like to see that improve. And thinking about cost, well, here's where the performance Model Y compared to a typical internal combustion engine performance vehicle like a BMW M3, this could cost you as little as, oh no. It's got the automatic option to open in the app, and I forgot to turn it off. But you know what? The app is awesome, and I can turn it off from here. So let's just do that, and we'll cut again. So, as I was saying,
I'm going to voice over this section because when I recorded it, we didn't have a conflict somewhere in the Middle East. So, if you were to fill up on solar, it'll be absolutely free. An electric vehicle plan, about $4, or the average residential, about $28.70. If you were to go to a rapid charger, costs could be anywhere up to about $65. Now, let's compare that against the likes of a BMW X3. That could cost you right now about $178 to fill. So,
that's going to be a heck of a lot more expensive, isn't it? The Tesla Model Y Performance features dual motors, 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds, kilowatts of power, potentially 461, and newton meters 741. Not confirmed because Tesla never shares that. I've got launch mode on, so I can put my foot on the brake, foot on the accelerator, ready to launch. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God! That was insane. They call it insane. I honest to goodness was not going to say that. I don't know how fast that was, but that felt crazy. Battery, 84%, very important for electric vehicles. So this is an NMC battery. It's going to give you the most amount of power, the fastest. I could have had it at 100% to go even faster potentially, but I don't know. I mean, of note, Tesla does claim 3.5 seconds, but with a slip start. And we did that for an absolute zero. That was fun. I think let's cut to some more fun and shenanigans with some random people in the car.
Yeah. Oh shit! Oh shit! Whoa! Jesus!
So have I convinced you, if you've been thinking about getting a petrol or hybrid performance vehicle, and maybe go consider the Tesla Model Y Performance? I really do hope I have, because let's face it, way cheaper to fuel, superior, faster performance, handling which is in line with a sporty car. And heck, this is an SUV for goodness sake. What's with that? Price-wise, sure, it's on the upper end of electric vehicle in this sort of premium-ish sort of segment. So I'm thinking there about the Zeekr 7X. But I don't know, this is got compelling reasons for you to go buy this, if not for the software experience, if not for the constant over-the-air updates that come with Tesla. It's really very difficult to fault it for that price. And considering that, yeah, who wants to spend $126,000 on a performance car where you can get this for 90K? Well, 100K with taxes. Each to their own, right? Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing. Absolutely helps out the channel. Ask me a question down below, comment, suggest, share it with that friend who you know is in the market right now. They might really appreciate you for doing so. Otherwise, YouTube thinks that maybe one of these videos, wherever the hell it is right now on the screen, is for you. So go check them out, and thank you so much for watching.